Welcome back to the shop, everyone. This week's video is a 3-week-in-1, mainly because I did not do much in those weeks, but here we are. We are 2023, week 46, 47, and 48. That's November 13th through December 3rd. So we are just going to start off by working on that brake line, kind of where we left off in the last video before doing a bit of the dipstick work that never turned out. So we're going to start by putting an end on this line on the passenger side. Sorry, that's actually the driver's side. That's what's going to go into the line lock. And if I recall correctly, I almost made the number one mistake when doing brake lines. I almost forgot to put the end on the brake line before I made the flare. Now, since I don't have the other end done, it wouldn't have been the end of the world, but it's never a great thing to forget, the one thing that you need. And with that, looks like the brake line goes into line lock perfectly. Now that I've got this kind of routed up onto the passenger side where I need it, I'm just going to use some zip ties to hold this to the K-member, so that way it's where I need it to be, so I can, do the rest of the work, bend the lines, etc. While it's fixed in place, it's not going to move and surprise me when I go back to it and everything's out of place. So on this side, we're not getting too crazy right now. We're just giving it a couple of bends and getting it loosely into place. The reason for this is I need to build a bracket for the adapter that's going to go from the flare to dash 3. So I'm just leaving it loose as it is. So we're going to move on to something else. So I got all of my exhaust parts in. So I'm just going to very quickly take a look and make sure that these parts are going to work for what I need. Can't see why they wouldn't. Mufflers look pretty good. The mufflers that I've chosen here aren't cheap, but they are inexpensive. There were definitely much more expensive options out there. These are on the cheaper side as far as mufflers are concerned, and for right now, I think these will be just fine, and hey, who knows, I might be surprised and really like the sound of this and just leave them when I build a new engine. But for getting the car on the road and getting it tested out and shaken down, I think these are going to be just fine. So I've just got them loosely in place on a couple of jack stands just to kind of get the general sense of where they're going to go and make sure they kind of fit. So I'm looking at the rest of the box here, which has a bunch of pipes, both straight, 45 and 90s, just enough to get the exhaust built on this car. So again, I'm just going to very quickly and loosely check, fitments and, check that I have enough pipe. So unfortunately, there's not a whole lot more I can do right now until I have the drive shaft in place, because the mufflers really need to I need to make sure the mufflers don't hit the drive shaft, so there's just not a whole lot that I can do with that right now. Alright, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get the car back onto its wheels. And the reason why I'm doing that is, as I mentioned earlier, this is a 3-week-in-1. I have my new Driveshaft in now. So this is probably week 48, and I've got my Driveshaft in now. So all I'm doing right now is we're just opening it up out of the box, and we're going to do a very quick test fit, make sure it is going to work, it's the right length, there's no surprises, the yolks are correct, all that good stuff. So if I recall correctly, this is a 3-inch chrome moly shaft. Should be easily able to hold 1,000 horsepower. It's got 1350 U-joints on it. 31 spline strange slip yoke in the front with a 35 spline, or at 1350 U-joint in the back. So fit that on, get this loosely bolted in, and I will torque it down to spec later. I just want to, check general fitment on it, and it fits amazingly. And that is all we have for this week. Super short video, but we actually got a lot done. So as always, if you stuck around this long, I'd like to thank you for viewing, and we'll catch you in the next one.